Now, they were talking about the battle between Donnarumma and Keylor Navas on Italian football TV. How do I know this?
Somebody must have told you.
Well, Gab was tweeting about this on Saturday night because they were discussing the goalkeeping situation at PSG and whether players preferred Navas or Donnarumma. Leonardo then texted in to the show to say the players had absolutely no preference and that Pochettino decides who plays game after game. Shaka, isn't it just Donnarumma's better than Navas? Shouldn't that just be it?
Well, it should be either Donnarumma better than Navas or Navas better than Donnarumma. It shouldn't be, we'll make an on-the-spot decision. That serves neither goalkeeper better. Listen, you know how strongly I feel about Keylor Navas, similarly about Donnarumma. I had a similar situation at Newcastle, where it was me and Pavel Sinic as the two goalkeepers. Not really rings the same as Donnarumma and Keylor Navas.
Sell it, Shaq. Come on. Don't doubt yourself.
Well, the wages were a little different.
Well, a whole lot different. But Kevin Keegan had the same approach that, not kind of changing every week, but there was no established number one. And that served neither me nor Pav better because you were nervous about making mistakes in games. You were nervy about making mistakes even in training. And as a result, you both end up playing within yourselves, and that is no good to anybody, to the goalkeepers or to the team itself. Now,
who's better, Shane?
Right now, I'm still leaning Keylor Navas.
Really?
Well, listen, Donnarumma's had an incredible 6 months, 8 months, no question. But Keylor Navas has proven himself time and time again at this level. Possession is 9/10 of the law, is the old cliche. I don't think that. Until this mistake, which you can probably blame at the rotation, until this mistake, Keylor Navas has done nothing to be out of the team. And that, for me, is why I will continue to lean Keylor Navas.
What are they saying in France, Jules?
I mean, it's a big debate since the day Gigi Donnarumma signed at the club, because if there was one position really where they didn't need anyone, because Navas had been so good since arriving from Real Madrid, that was in goalkeeper, as a goalkeeper. So this is a debate that we've had in France since day one, like I said. Everybody is jumping in. Of course, the Leonardo story has come to France as well. There's also, let's not forget, something very important is Navas' position within the dressing room, within the South American clan, which is very important, I think, for the balance of the dressing room, because I think if you start dropping Navas and not rotating anymore, there will be a lot of unhappy players in that dressing room, which is something that Pochettino doesn't want. Pochettino, by the way, who's very close to Navas as well. So there's a lot of geopolitics almost as much as all the sporting side of it that comes in consideration, and I don't know. I can see why they signed Donnarumma. It's a great market opportunity. He's one for the future. He's obviously, 14 years younger than Navas, or 13 years younger. I've got no problems. But on the other hand, we knew this was going to be a problem, an issue at some point, and it clearly is.
I don't understand Pochettino, particularly with Pochettino being a centre-back, because as a defender, you want to have the same keeper in.
Right.
Because you know everything. You know where he's going to be without even looking. You understand where his strengths and weaknesses are. If you're changing all the time, then you're constantly having to think and you're constantly having to look. And that's detrimental to every team. And so I would have thought Pochettino would have known that, because I would be shocked if he was playing. He wanted a different goalie in every time he stepped on the field. So again, it's kind of going back to Poch. Poch needs to stand up and say, look, Either Donnarumma's your goalie or Keylor Navas is your goalie. You've got to make your mind up. You've got to make some tough decisions. But clearly, it doesn't seem as though he's going to do that.
One of many problems, it seems, for PSG at the moment. You listen to the Gab and Jules podcast, the latest one, Jules. You sounded so down and depressed. It wasn't normally the uplifting Julien that we're used to.
No, and wait until you read my piece on the website as well, because it's even more embarrassing.
I don't think I could face that, Jules.
I despair even more. I mean, I don't know. This is the most talented squad they've ever had, that PSG has ever had in its whole history, but especially since the Qatari took over 10 years ago. And yet, this is the worst team on the pitch, the worst performances. There's just nothing. There's nothing collectively. There's no direction. You can't see any clear identity. And we go back to the same thing. There's no patterns of play. Maybe it's hard to put something in, like a style in place or a game in place when you've got Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi knowing that they don't defend, etc. But still with the ball, even just focus on the ball. I don't care about pressing or counter-pressing or defending or trailing back or anything. Just think with the ball. With the ball, this is a team that should be playing so much better, being able to build from the back, to beat the press, which they can't even do against teams like Angers and Strasbourg and Nantes. And Lens at the weekend, they were they were second best against Lens and somehow rescue the point. This is something they're good at, rescuing a point or a win in the last 10 minutes of the game. They've done that more than anybody else in the Big Five league, but I don't care. I want them to play better, and right now they don't. And it's not just Pochettino's fault, but he's mostly to blame as well for the lack of identity.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.